What if a powerful and primal force in your life was secretly the key to your highest potential? It's an intense, raw energy that many experience. But what if this energy was never meant to be a problem, but a source of power to be harnessed? What if I told you that this primal drive, the very thing that can lead to emptiness and regret false highs, is also the source of your greatest power? This isn't just some philosophical idea, it's a reality backed by modern brain science and ancient wisdom. Stay with me because we're about to uncover how you can transform this volatile energy into unstoppable drive, boundless creativity, and profound spiritual strength. When it comes to lust, many people fall into the trap of reckless indulgence. It might promise a sense of power, confidence, and a thrilling high. But this path offers a fleeting sensation that quickly fades into emptiness, damaged relationships, and a hollowed-out sense of who you are. We've been fighting the wrong war. The problem has never been the existence of this energy. The problem has been our ignorance of its true purpose. We've been trying to cap a volcano when we were always meant to build a power plant. This is the blueprint for that power plant. Let's be honest about what lust really is. At its core, it's a powerful, God-given desire. It's an engine, a gift. Originally, it was designed to fuel procreation, bonding, and deep, intimate connection. But in a broken world, this engine often misfires. It gets detached from its real purpose, connection and creation, and becomes a force of its own. A craving for a sensation, for validation, or just a temporary escape from pain. This misfiring is where the problem lies. The path of indulgence whispers a deceptive promise of power and freedom. It tells you that giving in will make you feel confident, desired, and in control. But it's a lie. The high is temporary. With every indulgence, the neural pathways for that craving get a little deeper, the satisfaction gets shorter, and the emptiness on the other side gets wider. It chips away at our ability to have real intimacy and creation. It trains our brains to see people not as whole persons to be loved, but as objects to be used for a quick neurochemical hit, and to see life as a game of pleasure when it's more than that. That isn't power. It's slavery to an impulse that's been cut off from its sacred meaning. The real cost is a fractured soul, shallow relationships, and a profound sense of being spiritually stuck. But what if there's a third way beyond simple indulgence or internal struggle? A path of transformation. This is where it gets really exciting because science can now physically map the truths that ancient wisdom has taught for thousands of years. Your brain isn't a fixed machine, it's a dynamic living network, a concept scientists call neuroplasticity. Every thought you think and every action you take strengthens certain connections in your brain while weakening others. You are, quite literally, the architect of your own brain through coming back with constant repetition. So what happens when you feel lust? A powerful chemical cocktail, mostly dopamine, floods your brain's reward system. Dopamine's job is to make you want to repeat behaviors your brain thinks are good for survival, like eating or sex. When you indulge in lust, you get a dopamine hit that basically says, yes, do that again. The more you do it, the more efficient that neural pathway becomes. It's like turning a dirt path into a superhighway. Your brain gets wired to seek that specific thing, leading to cravings and compulsive behavior. But here's the secret. Neuroplasticity means you can build new roads. This is where your conscious mind, your prefrontal cortex, comes in. Think of the prefrontal cortex as your brain's CEO. It handles planning, decision-making, and most importantly, impulse control. It's the part of you that can look at the immediate desire for a dopamine hit and say, hang on, what are the long-term consequences here? By intentionally choosing a different response, you can start to strengthen the CEO's authority and carve out new neural highways. When that intense energy of desire shows up, you have a choice. Instead of automatically taking the old, worn-out road of indulgence, you can consciously divert that energy. Think of it like your mind is like a wild forest path, trampled and hardened by years of walking the same route. You can't erase that path overnight, but you can stop walking it. You can start clearing a new trail, step by step, until it becomes the new default. At first, it's rough, unfamiliar, full of resistance. But keep walking it and soon the forest itself begins to bend around your new direction. Every single time you redirect that energy, you are physically changing your brain. You're weakening the old path and strengthening a new one. This is the science of transformation through repeated behaviors and resilience, always coming back even when you slip, trip or fall, slow or fast, intense or not. Long before we had brain scans, the Bible laid out this very same principle. It speaks directly to this powerful inner drive. In Genesis, God observes that the inclination of man's heart is evil from his youth. But this isn't a statement of doom. It's a diagnosis of our raw, untamed nature. The Bible acknowledges this powerful internal force. Our sinful nature can be ruled over. God tells Cain in Genesis 4, verse 7, "If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it." The problem isn't the engine, it's who's in the driver's seat. Just look at the story of King David. He was a man called a man after God's own heart, yet he let his untamed desires run wild in a crucial situation. He was idle at his palace when he should have been at war. From his roof, he saw a beautiful woman, Bathsheba, bathing. He coveted, and he sent for her, even though he knew she was the wife of Uriah, one of his most loyal soldiers. When she became pregnant, David's single act of unchecked lust spiraled. He first tried to deceive Uriah into sleeping with his wife, to cover the sin which caused pregnancy, to hide the fact that the child wouldn't be Uriah's. But Uriah, out of honor, refused to go home while his comrades were in the field. So David's cover-up escalated into a dark command. He arranged for Uriah to be abandoned on the front lines of battle, where he was killed. It's a terrifying picture of how this untamed energy, when indulged, can spiral into deception and murder, causing catastrophic damage to our lives and those around us. But David's story doesn't end in disaster. After being confronted by the prophet Nathan with a powerful parable, David is shattered by his sin. His prayer in Psalm 51 is the ultimate prayer for transformation. "Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." He doesn't just ask for forgiveness, he asks for a new inner structure. He asked God to rewire him from the inside out. This brings us to the Apostle Paul's radical command in Romans chapter 12, verse 2. "Do not be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." The Greek word for transformed here is metamorphio. It's where we get the word metamorphosis. It's the same word used to describe Jesus' transfiguration, where his inner glory became outwardly visible. Paul is telling us that by renewing the mind, we can undergo a complete change. This is the biblical description of neuroplasticity. We are called to actively partner with God in rewiring our minds, our thoughts, patterns, and desires so we can discover and live out God's good, pleasing, and perfect will. So how do we actually do this? How do we build that power plan? This isn't about a magic trick. It's about a sacred discipline. Psychologists call it sublimation. Self-development experts like Napoleon Hill in his classic book, Think and Grow Rich, called it sexual transmutation. Hill argued that the most successful people in history learned to harness this powerful energy and redirect it, which developed their keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creative ability. Here's a practical step-by-step framework you can start using today. The first step is to change your relationship with the feeling itself. When that wave of energy rises, instead of reacting automatically, just pause. Acknowledge its presence with neutrality. Say to yourself, there's that energy, this is power, this is drive. By simply observing it, you create a small gap between the feeling and your reaction. You're putting your brain's CEO back in charge. Now that you've acknowledged the energy, you have to reframe it. Instead of seeing it as lust, see it as raw creative fuel. This isn't just a word game, it's a profound mental shift. Second step, ask yourself a powerful question. What great thing could I accomplish if I channeled this intensity toward it? Have a goal ready for this energy. Visualize it being harnessed to a passion or work. Is it your business, your art, a project in your community, a physical goal like running a marathon, or even strengthening your body by simply getting down and hitting push-ups, sit-ups, squats, other workouts, or even more work in general? By assigning this energy a higher purpose, you give it a new job description. Your brain often can't tell the difference between a real and a vividly imagined experience. So third step is, when you feel that drive, close your eyes for 60 seconds. Take that feeling of intensity, that charge in your body, and vividly imagine yourself pouring it into your chosen goal. See yourself crushing your work presentation with intense focus. Feel yourself painting or writing with an unstoppable creative flow. Imagine yourself praying with a passion you've never felt. You are literally rehearsing a new neural pathway, teaching your brain where you want this energy to go. Visualization prepares the new channel. Action digs it. Fourth step. After you visualize, you must take immediate action, even a tiny physical step toward your new goal. If your goal is your business, open your laptop and write one sentence. If it's art, pick up the brush and make one stroke. If it's your spiritual life, open your Bible and read one verse. This physical action solidifies the new brain connection. Repetition is what makes this automatic. The first few times will feel forced. The 100th time, it will be your new nature. Then continue. Fifth step. This is not a journey you take alone. This step transforms the whole thing from a self-help technique into a spiritual discipline. When the energy rises, let it be a trigger for a simple prayer. God, thank you for this energy. It's a gift. Now show me how to use it for your glory. Let this drive be fuel for my work and the purpose you have for my life. This adds a layer of divine power to your efforts, reminding you that your transformation is a partnership with the Creator who designed you. 1 Corinthians 3:16-17, which says, "Do you not know that you are God's temple and that God's Spirit dwells in you? If anyone destroys God's temple, God will destroy him, for God's temple is holy and you are that temple. So take care of yourself and make sure you're keenly aware of what you do with your body." If this is resonating with you and you're ready to start harnessing this power, then join the conversation. Hit the like button, subscribe for more content that connects modern science and timeless scripture, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Most importantly, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me one area of your life where you're going to intentionally redirect this powerful energy. Let's build a community of people committed to this path of transformation. Remember, it's about repetition and resilience, but it's not about never falling. It's about how you rise back up every single time and continue. This will create new neurological connections, forming a new identity and stronger neural pathways. For too long, this fundamental part of ourselves has been misunderstood. We've seen our most potent energy as a liability and misused temporary highs instead of a gift. But today, that can change. The agreement between brain scans and ancient scrolls is undeniable. You are wired for transformation. That intense primal energy you feel is not a sign of weakness, but a signal of your potential. It's the raw material for genius, creativity, courage, and spiritual fire. When you learn to transmute this force, you don't just overcome a problem, you unlock a superpower. You step into a life of purpose-driven intensity. Your work gains a new edge. Your relationships find new depth. Your spiritual life catches fire. You are no longer a slave to your impulses, but a master of your energy, directing it toward things that truly matter. The path from being controlled to being in control is right in front of you. The power is already within you. It's time to unleash it. And remember, every step you take is an echo into eternity.